Professor, you have a very interesting work in terms of the philosophy of Yinyang, and I use that in my research. And by the way, your thought is entering the Buddhist in the religious studies in Brazil because I'm using your way of thinking to base our research in the Methodist University of São Paulo in my area, in my research. So there's a lot of students already using your material. We're talking about 10 students using your material. So in several fields like feminism, gender, Catholics interdialogues with Buddhism, and then inside of the Buddhism itself and Chinese Buddhism, talking about the Yin-Yang.
Yeah.
And the podcast here is about that. Undergraduation, students listen to you and get inspired to go and to follow up to do master degree, PhD, and so forth. So how that come to be? How you being a Chinese feels or thinks about this philosophy of Yin-Yang that you use as a base? How do you define that? How do you feel that?
Okay, so thank you. I mean, thank you. You're doing all this wonderful work. It's very important right now. We in this complicated world, we're facing lots of challenges, problems, right? So how do we process this? How do we get our grasping this reality and the human conditions? So if you want me talk about the yin yang as way of life, or as way to see the world, sometimes I just make jokes that the yin yang, just want to make it simple for student. Look, you live in the world, you have vision problems. Yin yang is your prescription, is your glass. You look at it. You take a yin yang glass, you see world clear, up close, and doing better. So that's the one way we think about it. So the definition, it's just we see key things about the yin yang is interconnectivity, is relationships, is a process, is a transformation. So we see yin yang everywhere. As me as an individual, but I lived, in certain country, I born into certain family, I speak certain language, and I belong to certain citizenship, right? So all this we are living this net of work relationships. Then that yin yang to remind you how we are being intrinsically connected, and also connecting our body.
Wonderful.
So there is our body, our mind, our spirit. Like what you hear, you see, Jing Qi says 3 things is interconnected. But the yin yang give you a better, also another way to summarize it. It's also another way to connecting them together. But I think in yin yang theory, there's one very important point is we have to understand the femininity. Femininity is not necessarily a woman. Femininity here, we talk about the cosmic forces. We talk about invisible power. And we talk about something hidden, something sublime. So we usually, like Dao De Jing chapter 42, think about many other things. You confront this yang. What do you see? Concrete, you use your 5 senses, you can access. That's yang. But then there is another hidden aspect that's in its background. It's a non-presence. It's going to be, there is a potential to grow, to come into presence. That things in, so yin yang help you to see, we need to see silent transformation. How things moved, not just now, but also things will moved bring us to future. It's almost like if it's daytime, you forgot about night, but whether you don't like or not, night will come. So during the daytime, you confront is Yang, you're holding Yang, but there is something in the back, your shoulder, that's a background. So day will turn into a night, and the night, if the night you see, okay, it's a night, but yet you know the night have a potential to become day.
Day, exactly.
Yes, so then you need to pay attention. This process is a potentiality. So I think that
That's wonderful. And how you told me that you met Jackie Chan,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
So yeah, you see the reaction there. She's impressive. Now we have this, and he was with Will Smith, right?
Will
Kid.
Smith. Yeah.
And you met them too for the Karate Kid movie, and they
Yeah.
use the concept of
Yeah, a
Yinyang.
lot.
It's there, right?
Yes.
And you are the person behind that, giving the
Yeah.
consultations and so forth.
Yeah.
So how do you connect the Chinese martial arts, what we call kung fu?
Yes.
And how do you connect that? Do you think it's there? I think it's there, right?
Of course, yes, yes. I mean, I think the Yinyang ideas is emerged to Chinese Kung Fu practice. In Kung Fu, you see Yinyang all the time. You can see the power, and but this power is a soft power. If you will think about, there is a lot of blending. So somebody attacking you, then you use that energy. You return, you direct energy to against themselves. So it's not it's different than boxing. Boxing is just power to power. Maybe there's some strategy, but it's a power to power. But yin yang is to position yourself, constantly change this position, and constantly create either the space and you that space, that preparation for you make a move, that's a yin part. But then you punch, that's a yang part. But yin yang has to alternate. Otherwise, that's another kung fu, So I think kung fu do need to think about you also have this prediction kind, and then you go in 自然, go to let the things take you to certain conditions and the positions, but not impose your idea to the situation. So basically, you constantly moving and finding the positions, change the position. It's just like a bamboo blowing in the wind, but you never broke. Because you have a root.
Precisely, because you have a root.
Yeah.
Yes, and they have the flexibility to follow.
They have flexibility, yes. Yes.
That's wonderful. But, and then the last time you were here, it was before the pandemic. Do you remember?
Yes.
And I was really worried about you in the pandemic. How is Robin Wang, my master? How is my stuff with master there in the United States? And that craziness of there, that many people dying all the time. I was following that every day, looking how many people dying and all these things. And then suddenly we saw the Brazil growing up there. It's crazy, right? But the time we were here, I remember you are supposed to go to the Vatican to talk with the Pope Francis about the artificial intelligence.
Yes, yes.
How was that conversation?
It's a great, I actually also I want to show you a picture. Okay, so let me, so there's AI and artificial intelligence that is called the Vatican Calling for AI Ethics. So it's the conference on that. So I clearly remembered that is February 29, that morning. The conference is great. Everyone, there's a different presentations. My presentation is can machine flow like a DAO. So I talk about the DAO's perspective on AI. So that February 29, 2020, we are standing in line about the shaking Pope's hand. But that's 7 o'clock. He's supposed to come 10. But then that morning he has a cough. And then he said, oh, you cannot he cannot shaking hand with strangers. So then I didn't get a shaking hand with Pope.
Ah.
But there's two more things happened. I want to show you a picture. One thing about last year, I was in Vatican. I lived in the Vatican again, and I saw Pope, and for the conference.
So you went again
Yeah.
to see the Pope following years after,
Yes,
before or after the
that's last
pandemic?
year. That's
last year.
Okay.
2023.
2023. Yes.
Wow.
And then look, this year, even it's August. It's just August, and then wait, I was able to shaking hand with Pope.
Wow.
So I was trying to find yeah.
So you're not a stranger anymore to him, I think, right?
No. He know too many people. No. So I show you this
Let me see
picture.
that. Wow, you're there.
Yes, I was there.
Wonderful.
And then I shaking the hand, but I do
I think you guys can see her right at the back of the Pope.
And
I can show you here.
I
Can
give.
you see that?
I have. Let me find another one. Because the situation is, when the things happens, someone has to be there, take pictures, right? So I have the one I actually kind of like had a hands with him. That go. But anyway, I don't want.
No, later you can show me that. No problem.
Yeah, later.
You can show me. You can send me by WhatsApp.
Yeah, I send you WhatsApp.
Okay. And then I push this together with the show.
Okay.
But how do you feel that this openness of the Vatican to listen to a Taoist master? How they see?
I think it's wonderful. I mean, but by the way, also Pope, he is embodiment of a bamboo character. He is a softness. He is always have this humility and to openness and exercise this a sense of softness.
I see.
So in femininity, because he care about So his thought and the Taoist idea, there is a natural fitting, fit well to many aspects.
And you are showing the difference today between your concept of Shin sphere and the Nu sphere. And the Nu sphere comes the Teilhard de Chardin. That's one of the theologians of the Vatican, Second Vatican Council, right?
Yes.
And this is quite interesting. And I think it's in this 10th colloquium of the Eastern philosophy that Professor Antonio Florentino Neto has invited you.
Yes.
And I think he's a kind of one of the pillars of this new mentality that's being built in here in our country in Brazil, and not just here. His shadow is start to go to China now.
Right.
And he invited you to come, and it's not the first time.
Yes.
And allow us to get to your way of thinking. And this way of thinking, when you're talking about the Shin sphere and the Nu sphere that comes from Teilhard de Chardin. I was in Beijing. I entered in the subway there, and I saw the Teilhard de Chardin together with the guys there. I was, I know this guy. He's a theologian. Why is he doing excavation in Beijing? And it has to do with the men of Beijing. And then now, today, I saw you using him.
Yeah.
And then you compare your ideas with him. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I think a noosphere is based on Greek word nous, which is mind, right? And then combined with technology advancement. So they we want to think about things, sphere, not a substance. So this is emerged from interdisciplinary studies, different scientific discoveries. They found out that there is limits modern European thought. So they're looking for something else. So they back to Jaden's idea of noosphere. So they reactivated that noosphere. But then I found out actually there is some important lessons Chinese thought can offer to the world. So then I use Xin sphere because the news is mine only. Xin is a little different in Chinese. With Xin is a heart mind.
Heart mind.
Yes. Now
Heart
I learned
and mind.
heart and mind. I learned is in Portuguese that there is the same.
Yes.
There's
Coração e mente.
okay, right. Okay. So that Xin and loved exist activated in a sphere. Then this sphere is a chi sphere. So that's two things together we call it Xin. I call it Xin sphere. Another word, how the mind living the chi room, chi field. So that's point one. But another point is when Xin sphere, when we understand it, we found that it's not just human beings. Because Xin sphere, human beings is also connected with heaven, earth, and many other things. That's a very Taoist idea. So that then you can see now we are living in this a much bigger chi sphere, which is inclusive to all things. And then another idea we'll think about is we are not think about just Earth. We think about the planet. Planet is basically is a cosmos. Right? It's this whole cosmos. It's intrinsically connecting with each individual, with us, with humans. So this is interactions we have with cosmos, and cosmos also teaches to us, speak to us. So we have interaction. What lead up this interaction lead to transformation. We're growing, cosmos will be better, right? We mutually interact and transformation and the flourishing. So that's what about the Xin sphere. The different Xin sphere is the basic idea is it's sparked by noosphere, but then I do thinking it's complicated the noosphere, this concept, and actually reached it because noosphere is not just mind. There is a body, there is a spirit, right? This spirit is individual spirit, it's an earthly spirit in many ways, not necessarily like Jaden's idea omega point. That is a divine. He also think noosphere has a direction. This directionality is to ultimate point, omega point. But the Xin sphere is more open.
More open.
It's more open and bred into embodiment, enactment, to you really, really close to your body and the world. You're grounded in the earth, but yet your eye, your vision still in the sky as well.
And we see that today you talk about zira. That's the basic nature of the thing. And there is a word in the Taoism that says, from where comes Tao? Tao comes from zira.
Yes.
What's that? What's zira after all?
Okay, all right.
Is it emptiness? What's zira?
No, okay, so yes and no. Okay. So this is a Tao Te Ching chapter 25. So basically they're asking what the human follow the earth. What the earth follow heaven. What the heaven follow Tao. What Tao follow 自然. That's clearly seeing the only one features and characters, elements about the Tao is 自然. Okay, so that's really interesting, right? So then question, what's the 自然? There's two words. 自 is self. 然 is, you can see it's a movement or state. So another word, 自然 means self. One translation is self-so, self-compelling. But the more way to think is everything has its own 自然. So it's 自然 is a state of being. This table has a 自然, which is holding us. the table's 自然 is made in the wood. Okay, this table particularly, but the table can be made with iron, right? So we must respect everything's its own 自然. In other words, it's a state of being. I talk about the water's 自然 is downward, fire's 自然 is upward. So we all have this particular way to naturally being this world. This naturally being, which is called the 自然. Tao is thinking often we're corrupting our 自然. You know, we lost who we really are, and then we just pretending because of social, with a conventional view to shape us to become someone we are not being. So for Taoists, want to learning is unlearning in the word, and it's a pursue the 真, is a generance, going to finding that really naturalness of you, that is a 自然 state of 自然. I usually also I like to use the example like a food. Right now we have produced incredible, you know, I mean certain companies, capitalism create a process of incredible junks, food, for example, edible things, right?
Yeah.
But the most edible things are harmful, poison to our body. So then our body will be depends on pharmaceuticals because we depend the pills to make us feel good. So then we have to say, look, we have returned to 自然 of food, of nutrition. What do we need? We need the nutrition. That's it. That's why right now called organic. But okay, organic is not debate, but let's just say if I think about organic and the process, organic is 自然. It's a self-sow. It's a real food. It's a food with nutrients.
Yeah.
Processed is add preservatives, sugar, but it let you addicted to your taste, but it's harmful for your body. So harm your 自然.
Yeah.
Right, the 自然
Cholesterol
of
level
body,
goes up, everything
cholesterol,
destroyed.
you know, Alzheimer's, you know, diabetes,
Yeah,
it's all
totally,
things,
everything is there,
right?
yeah.
That is a problem. That's like seeing another thing. Our body, our bones, our skins, human body meant to move, but then technology, not like certain technology, I'm saying, but the human lifestyle blocked it, right? You sit there, you take from car to car, and everything becomes so convenient, but then you really acting against the 自然 of your body.
Of your body.
So then you need against doing unnatural things, right? Sitting there is unnatural. Stand up, you know, do some sort of movement. That is natural. Because why? Because the movement get your qi flow, but mostly get your blood flow and make you feel better and you're more healthy. Right? So you can see how modern world complicated, blocked our naturalness of ourselves, from lifestyle to the food to all kinds of things, you know?
And there's a Zuran in terms of group too? Group, like a group of people in relation between each other. Is there a Zuran behind that?
Are you talking about human group?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Event. Okay, here's what I think maybe. So in this world, we can see we have people, you know, how do you connect people to people, including yourself? That's there is a 自然, right? So things, what is my relationship with iPhone, for example? Should I spend 8 hours each day to look at iPhone? That's, you know, social media, that's terrible, right?
Terrible.
It's unnatural.
For health.
Yes,
Exactly.
so that's my connections and the event, right? So you travel, for example, this event happens. So in that way, the event has its natural thing. Like I'm coming, I have to take a 12 hours flight to get here. right?
Wow.
12-hour flight.
It's a lot.
So that's a 自然way. So I needed to, my body have to, my mind have to attune with that. So, okay, it's 12 hours, it's fine. How do I use this time? So the attune, aligned with the condition. So answer your question, yes. Everything you all think about the group things, that's can consider event, right? Event, people communication, there is a 自然.
There is the 自然 there.
Yeah, the style or Dao of communication. What that means is you have to 自然way. You can't, communication is to communicate, then you have to listen. Then you respond, right?
Exactly.
Not react. But so there is every event, everything, every relationship has its own 自然.
That's the point. You see, when you're talking about the Shin sphere, I was feeling like that, but
Yeah.
I was not, since I was a translator, I could not have the room to ask you there.
Yeah,
And I got this feeling that Zuran is behind that because there is a Dao there.
yes.
And since there is a Dao, must have a Zuran. But to me was, since you are confronting this Dianxia and all this politics behind that, so there's no room in order to go for these basic things that I'm asking you
Yeah,
now. It's very basic, but
Yeah.
it's necessary in order to understand that. And there's another thing that you said that it was really impressed me. When you connected with the necessity of sleep,
yes.
you said to the students, do you want
Yeah.
to know how much you're connected with Yinyang? I show you. And then
Yes.
you can you talk a little
Yeah.
bit about that? It's very wonderful.
Because of course our body have yin-yang operations, right? Yang, you stand up, in another one, the quiet, all body part has do its own thing, yin-yang. But ultimately it's a talk about there is certain kind of patterns, regularity exists in our body. That is nature in our body. So one idea was sleep. Sleep, you can see everybody is different. How many hours sleep you need in order to function properly, right? So some people maybe only 5 hours.
Maybe.
Some people need 8 hours. Let's take people need 5 hours. After 5 hours sleep, he or she just fine. Okay, but what happened to 4 hours? You only get, right? You're missing that mark, that circadian clock in your body. And then if you 1 day, 2 day, a month, maybe okay, but you constantly, if this, then your body will tell you this is too much, your body will breaking down.
Breaking down.
Right? So then you come up all these problems. You all can have health problems. So that means in our body, there is a certain kind of regularity, certain kind of rhythm, certain kind of pattern we must respect and cultivate. Certain things we just cannot do. For example, okay, proprioception is another. If you're hiking, you go in the mountain, you go down, you're late, you want to run, but your body, your mind said, run faster, but your body, your leg immediately just breaking down. I can't downhill can't. Okay. Here's I want to say Taoist. Tao Te Ching talk about that's the natural pattern in our body is a chapter 3. Talk about we should empty our heart mind. Like this a little bit strange. Why is that? And then for your belly. That idea is our desire is unlimited. But our physical body has limits, can tell us what we can do, we cannot do, help us to make a choice. The best example is all you can eat buffet. Your mind, your desire still want, I want this, I want that, everything seems to you very appealing. But your body, your stomach, if you eat too much, will hurt. So we're hurting you. So
right.
That is how your body has a limit, has a break. Your mind, your desire don't have it. So then we need to listen to our body. Another example I usually tell a student, if alcohol is so good, but why you have a hangover?
Exactly. Why?
Why, right?
Why? Yeah.
That's your body telling you. So we have to listen to our body. So body is a natural state of our own beings. That's 自然.
That's
We
自然.
need to align, attuned with it.
And then we have the concept of how much time? We finished. I would ask you about Jing Dao. That means the cultivation of the Dao, but we don't have time. You see
Okay.
the alarm there.
That's a fact.
So that's a good idea, because then I have to meet my Taoist master again in the future. I hope
Thank you for having me. It's amazing
I
how
hope when you
much
come
changes.
here, you're going to
Okay.
see the actual college, Buddha Dharma College, working.
Yeah, when going to be, I want to
It's
be.
supposed to be in the next year. So
Next
let's see.
year, really?
Next year it's
Oh, my
already
goodness.
officially recognized by the government. If everything goes well, it's going to be like this.
Are you the president of academy? You're president of
Yes, I'm
academy?
the general director.
General
Yeah,
director.
we
Oh,
could see
it's
the
good.
future dean of the thing, because we were not going to stop there. We're going to go for at least 4 colleges inside. We try to go for the university. Let's see in the future.
Where your vision come from?
I think my vision basically come from the Buddhism in terms of Mahayana and the Taoism, a way of thinking about the Tao that encompasses everything. I think.
But it's amazing you have this vision.
Yeah, well, we could say that the Chinese people is behind that. There's my father one side, there's my mother another, and then we have the merging between the Christianity and Buddhism getting together.
Yeah.
You see, and
That's
this
good.
basically says you should care about people. Then I met Professor Florentina, and then I met you, Professor Wang, and then you both say the same. He's Italian, and you
Yeah.
are Chinese, and you say the same. I
Yeah.
pretty much saw the reversed way of seeing my father and mother there. I said, why am I listening to this all the time? I have to do something. I have to react in
Yeah.
some way.
Good.
And my reaction is no reaction. It's way, because I'm just following what's presented to me
Yeah, good.
through your mouth and
But
through
you
his mouth.
direct
see?
your energy, your things, your chi. Very good.
Thank you so
Neuroenergy.
much.
This a few years. This is like such big changes.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate your kindness. I hope in the future I can make you proud.